All right, welcome back, everyone, to Black Bull Podcast. We apologize for the hiatus, but I'm sure you understand. Our guest today is Tristan Irving. Tristan is an artist in Portland. He's actually, I in our conversation leading up to this, you haven't been doing art for that long, but you're a full-time artist now.
Yep.
So when you started, what, about a year and a half ago?
Yep. December 18th was the first time I picked up a paintbrush. December 18th of 2018, the first time I picked up a paintbrush and started painting.
Yeah. So how would you describe your style?
Well, I think my style is kind of evolved. I'm trying to evolve it. Right now, I would call it more of a, I'm just a contemporary artist, I do mostly portrait work, fine art. I'm a fine artist. That's what I'm trying to shoot for,
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I was miscalling it by saying gallery. You're like a gallery artist,
Same, yeah. I guess, yeah.
Let's not put a negative connotation on that.
Yeah, no, it's not negative at all. I mean, like, what I mean by that is he has paintings that are on canvases because we have a ton of street artists that come through.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know if you're a street artist or not, but
and it's funny. Somebody just messaged me earlier today about an interview for the for Sneaker Week that's coming up. And they were like, I'm interviewing a bunch of street artists and muralists, etc. And I was like, oh, well, I'm not a street artist or a muralist. But I was like, it sounds dope, though. I really wish you the best of luck. But it's probably not something I can do, Just because, with everything that's been going on, my art has been, and I wanted to, make my art public, put it in the streets, because I believe in seeing people that look like me and all their beauty, and that's what I believe my art represents. So that's kind of my goal, was to just put that in front of as many people as possible, but at a certain time I felt like it switched to people kind of trying to take advantage, or from the beginning, I kind of looked at it like that. Because if you want to support me just in general as a black artist, I have paintings for sale, period, point blank, support doesn't really look like me going out to labor for a business that I don't know what relationship they have with my community or how they would treat me if I walked into their store or whatever. I just don't know. And then on top of that, I believe in I believe that I'm worth something, I believe that I can do it, and the artists that I seek to be like, I think that they get plenty of opportunities to paint for free,
Mm-hmm.
But I see their work just as much, even though that they don't paint for free, and not even to say that I'm like those artists or to be cocky or anything like that, but I just believe in I'm a full-time artist, I got to do this. I have to, me painting for somebody for free is that's essentially me donating money and time to somebody's business, because I'm a full-time artist. Once I go out of my way to do that type of stuff, it's like I'm giving up a day of work,
Well, it's kind of like I relate it to the tattoo world, right? And you get these kids rolling through going, tattoo me for free and I'll tell my friends.
Oh my God.
And it's just like, no, I have worth. I'm a professional. And you not necessarily relating to the street art is, you got to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many people are leveraging the term street art as a marketing ploy. And I just respect the fact that you're like, no, I'm me. I'm myself. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to pander.
Yeah.
And you'll find me if you like my work.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way you have to stay genuine.
That's real. And then part of it is a big reason is I got so much respect for street artists,
oh, it's no joke.
I got so much respect for street artists, and I would never put myself in. I'm not gonna throw myself in their arena, I've been doing these murals and stuff like that, and I'm tired of this. Can I cuss from here?
Oh yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm tired of this shit, bro.
We'll give that a big
man,
old
it's
fuck
exhausting, It's fucking exhausting, and I've got like a dope studio with air conditioning that I can. That not to say that I'm above anything or anybody like that, but it's a lot more, you know. It's and I got so much respect for the street artists that do that type of stuff. But right now, where I'm at in my career, I'm and the part of it is I don't have the confidence to do that type to take on those big things, you know, big things like that. You know, I'm still like working on like big canvases and stuff like that. You know, like that's my joy right now. Yeah, so it's just a lot to come with it. I got too much respect for those street artists too to jump in their arena. You know, I can't.
Yeah.
They would slaughter me. You know, I'm not. That's not my field. You know.
Well, I mean, so many of the street artists, they don't ever get anything in return. You know, they just do it for their one purpose, to have their artwork out there. And
see,
that's real.
They're
The
not selling.
Anonymity of it is really like, it's a real big piece of it, because we have friends in that arena, and it's more of like, there's a lot of lure to being anonymous, and that's a big part of it. Like, that's a big part of the clout. If you can get up and be known, but then not really be known, it's a part of like the game, and they still get to establish themselves as artists, but in a different way. They don't get to show their faces.
Yeah.
You get to be you, and just straight through you, and there's nothing bad with either side of those things, but it's definitely a different approach.
Yeah, for sure.
Something that I like that you brought up, and well, I don't like that it is what it is, but something we should talk about is what you're saying about companies taking advantage of artists right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it reminded me of this. It was a meme. I hate bringing up memes, but it was like when the gay pride thing was happening, and like all these companies were doing the rainbows on their logos and everything. But the meme was like a little snake with like a rainbow hat on it, and it's everything. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of being snaky. Like, okay, you put.
Well, it's supposed to be like a stand in solidarity, right?
Yeah.
Like any kind of like outward statement like that, where you're like attaching a brand to like a color scheme or like a statement like that. It's supposed to be that like community solidarity thing, but it so easily slips into like pandering, the same thing.
Yeah.
I've seen so much pandering through all of this, between like, from like the coronavirus stuff to like this, all of the loud Black Lives Matter stuff. And you're going, it's like, it gets muddy, because you kind of go like, how do I do my research on you? Just like you said, like, how do they interact with your community? How do you do that research?
Yeah.
How do you make sure that this is a company that whose values actually align with you and your community and who you are? And how is it like, how do you differentiate that and a company pandering and looking for a good PR move, right? Because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's real.
there's a lot there, man. It's like, also, I mean, there are some companies who might have a shitty past, but they have taken some steps to fix it. You need to be able to identify that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen like some companies recently. I mean, they're firing people that are proven to be racist, proven to be pieces of shit or sexist, like everything. They're getting rid of them. So like, we have to appreciate some of that, but at the same time, like, we can't.
Well, how do you tell the difference between meeting the status quo? Because like, let's check some boxes, and like implementing like social equity, like in a real way.
Yeah.
Because that's what
it's complicated. It's so complicated.
Well, but I think it starts at the top, and you have these CEOs where it's like, cool, PR, checking the boxes, like, what's the list look like the affirmative, like the action toward like hiring diversity, but then it's like, okay, cool, you're just trying to have faces and like it looks diverse, or like, what does your leadership look like?
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you know, I like to tumble into like the business side of things, but you can't, everything is so intertwined right now in capitalism. Where do you go with that? Like, have you ever had to like vet people that try to interact with you, and you're just like, hold on, this is not really a thing that I align with. I can't pass.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Even let me step back. Even on that whole thing, like, I've like coming into like this whole, and we're just talking about like the whole like movement of what's going on right now. You know, like
Let's call it social equity.
Social equity, yeah. Like I was saying, I wasn't doing like the painting for free or anything like that. When I did get the opportunities to paint for places came to me, like New Seasons. Chrome was the first place that came to me.
That was a great piece, by the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I was super stoked about that. But they're the first people that approached me, and it wasn't even Chrome that that approached me. It was this lady who's one of my collectors. I won't say her name, but she's one of my collectors. She's been supporting me since I was like living in my van in Venice. She works for Keen, and they have like really close relationships or whatever. And she reached out to me and was like, hey, Chrome is reaching out to different artists in different cities to put their art up, in support of what's going on, which I knew in code what that was. It wasn't like BET reaching out to me or something like that. Chrome was reaching out.
What's going on?
Yeah,
I'm like, people are like afraid of vocabulary, dude.
Right,
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, you're like, okay, all right, what's going on?
Yeah, right. Yeah, what is? Unless I mean, I say that because I don't. At this right now, I'm just so confused. I don't know what's going on. Like at first, it was a Black Lives. So let me some back up. So that's how I got the thing at Chrome. Was one of my collectors reached out to me, was like, hey, it's this opportunity, and I was like, dope. Like I really want to, and I really want to do it, and then with these places, I want to say too that I've never, because of the weights of the stuff that I'm painting, I didn't want to. I've never quoted them prices that were like I could do a canvas for way smaller than any of the places that I took money from, for that stuff. And it wasn't like they offered me that kind of stuff. I asked for just like lower amounts because I don't want to be around here. I did say I'm not going to pay for free, but at the same time, I don't want to be benefiting off of the death of somebody, like I don't want to be out here just like profiting off of like,
it's been a huge conversation.
Exactly. And it's not, and that's never been like my stance, so it was, so these places, like they've, it was only one time where I felt like taken advantage of, and I don't really want to bring light to that or speak on that, but everything has been made right in that situation. But yeah, it does, and that's why I'm trying to take a step back now because and then with new seasons, another I'm in AA. I'm a grateful member of Alcoholics Anonymous. Another one of my brothers in Alcoholics Anonymous is in management at New Seasons, and he reached out to me. And so it was like dope, that I knew that was when I did that. I knew the people who shopped at New Seasons. And I knew the type of people who were going to see my work, and I jumped at those opportunities mainly because I want those type of people to see our faces, to see colored faces, and and another thing, like I feel like when I do these things, for another reason why I have to step back, when I do these things, like people expect me to be politicians now or something like that, like because my work is in the public places on these like on New Seasons or on Chrome or on businesses, corporations, whatever you want to call them. People give me like so much like pushback or whatever or negative energy.
Really?
Because I'm doing it, and it's only white people. It's only white people that do this type of stuff.
Of course it is.
Who
What else is new?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Karens are coming at you.
It's crazy. And one time, somebody did it on Instagram, and then there was like they apologized because they was like, oh, looking back at your Instagram, I noticed that you were black, and I was like, yeah, like it does. Even if I'm not black, like why are you doing this? Like period point blank. Like it wasn't. I didn't like whatever. That didn't make it better because But anyways,
this is okay with me now.
Yeah.
This is okay with me now. Oh, sorry.
But
I didn't realize.
Because I don't on public stages like this, I had to realize that I don't have all the answers that people are looking for when they come with their frustrations with these corporations or with their frustrations with the movement, with their personal frustrations with the movement, I should say. Like I'm all for Black Lives Matter. I'm all for a lot of these civil rights groups. But when it comes to like the politics and the personal things and the personal attacks, and I'm not saying that anybody is right or wrong. Like there's definitely been some wrongdoing by people whatever in organizations that I've attached myself to. But I'm so far removed, like I don't even know the person or know any of those situations. Like and it gets to the point where like I can't speak up or I can't defend people just because I'm trying to make a living, dog. Like, period, point blank. Like it's like
still got bills to pay
for real. Like
still got mouths to feed.
And my stance is like these people are gonna what it boils down to is that these people are gonna find somebody to put up paint on their businesses regardless, period, point blank. I take pride in doing it and doing it in a manner that's respectful and doing it in a manner that I can speak on publicly and not feel ashamed about, because I can't say that a lot of other people would do that, or I know a lot of people, painters in Portland, who are super good painters, who are just not black painters, I should say, and they've been taking opportunities to get their work shown or out there, which I don't think is bad necessarily, because like I said, these people are gonna go get paint up regardless anywhere, and it's not enough black people to do it, all this paint in the first place. But I also don't know who's an ally really, like my art's really been picking up and taking off because only, and right now specifically only because George Floyd and Breonna Taylor died, and that's sad. Like a lot of more people are recognizing my art and are paying attention to me and are liking my work. Like I've been doing the same thing for like 6 or 7 months now, like painting these portraits in this style. The portraits haven't changed, at all. The only thing that's changed is the subject matter, But I've been painting dead people, just dead celebrities, stuff like that. I've been painting alive people, but right now people are only paying attention to my work, which it hurts me too, because I know this for a fact, and I know it for a fact because I watch the art market, and it's not just me. It's happening to famous artists too. It's happening to artists like Hebrew Brantley, whose prints are going for triple for what they usually go to before all this stuff was happening.
It's
and
like
it's
a
only
good thing, but it's
people
weird that it's on the back of this.
Exactly.
Like that's a sad thing, and it's a weird spot because you're going, well, good. It's about time, social equity, right? Spread it out. Like people need to be paid attention to and valued the same, but at the same time you're like, why do people have to die for this to be like a step up for me?
Exactly.
And I mean, that's what for me personally, like when everything started going down and getting real loud, I'm like, half of me is like, let's do fundraisers, and the other half of me is like, yes, but I refuse to elevate my brand on the back of this. Like that's not right. Exactly. That's not the point. So how do you do it? How do you help? Yeah. How do you pick? And I think that like flying under the radar and doing the right things that you feel good about is the answer.
Yeah.
And not like self-promoting through it.
Yeah.
We've done fundraising and donating, and I can barely like stand to post about it because I'm like, it's not the point.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. I want to pat myself on the back. Like I want to help. Yeah. Or do what I like, offer my resources and what I can do to help, and just like shut up and sit the fuck down for a minute. Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of slimy stuff going out there, man.
Yeah.
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 But with that, it's also been a lot of like, and I don't want to, with that negative stuff, or stuff that's not so pretty, it's also been a lot of beautiful stuff that's been happening, with this. I've grown to trust, and it's crazy. I've grown to trust white people more than ever during the past couple of months, and it's probably been because I feel like when I get put into places like to paint public art and stuff, like especially like these spaces, like I get scared sometimes, because I don't know who agrees with it, or who doesn't agree with it, stuff like that. But there's been instances where people that don't look like me have gone out of their way, sometimes going overboard, where it's like, dog, you ain't got to do all that, like it's cool, like I appreciate you, I know you trying to like, but it's like, and it's just been like kind of comical, but I've just grown to appreciate people. I don't want to say white people, but people that just don't look like me in general through this whole movement. Because I've kind of found out who like who I can't trust. It just surprised me
Yes.
so much who I can't trust, you know?
Who was silent during this
Yes,
whole
exactly.
thing? That is what I saw. It's like, man, the people that like aren't saying anything, it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like, come on.
exactly. So that's what's really made me appreciate the people that don't look like me more is seeing the people who have been quiet, because it's like, dog, you got this, or people that have platforms. It's like nobody's asking you to go above and beyond, but if you have a platform, or just, I mean, do something, or I don't know, just don't be quiet, just don't say nothing, I guess, you know. But and I don't know, I just don't have all the answers, you know. I know I'm just tired how being treated, how, you know, how I'm treated by certain individuals, and it's not like I'm not. I don't know. I don't think anybody is asking for the world to change overnight or anything like that. I don't necessarily know if it's about to happen in my lifetime or anything like that. But at the end of the day, man, I gotta like keep doing what's about to make me happy. You know, like I just don't feel like
You only have control over the things you have control over.
exactly, you know.
And so all you can do when you think about this overwhelming big picture, there's nothing you can do, but what you can do is be positive and affect the people around you,
Yeah.
and teach them to be positive and accepting.
Period.
And check the people that are the closest to you.
Period. Exactly.
And like that's what you can do, and the butterfly effect on that
Exactly.
is
There we
you can't scale it. You
Yes.
can't gauge it. Like
That's what
it's
it is.
huge.
It's that small change, those little baby steps, you know,
Mhm.
that consistent steps.
Leading by example, not making giant gestures that are
Yeah.
unrealistic.
Yeah.
Being positive, but also not like being fake genuine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like some people try to.
Well, it's like the over the top thing, and it's really just like when people come to you and they react and it's over the top, or they like you said, like you don't have to be like this.
Yeah.
It's like the confusion and like maybe it's uneducated, maybe like they don't know the vocabulary, maybe they're afraid to say something wrong, and then they're acting like you just be you.
Yeah.
Like I'll just be me,
Yeah.
and just like let's just vibe. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing else to it. Like let's connect
Yeah.
and build and grow and like.
Well, I mean, the biggest problem why, in my opinion, why the whole racism thing exists is because people don't work together. Like they're so sheltered in their little bubble, and they don't get to understand that all people, we are one species here. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like those people. Like we had an incident where this guy actually like chased us like in a car chase, and was like telling me to go back to my country and shit. And I was like, man, like this guy, like
Remember in like social studies, there was this word. It was called a melting pot.
yes,
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Dude,
And where do you want for me to go back to? Which
Yeah.
of like the 12 fucking countries, and then like the Native American parts, like where do you want me to split? Like,
Yeah.
and it's just like, but
Like,
it's
what
just
the
such
fuck are you
it's such
talking
pure ignorance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the guy could have probably like heard me talk and be like, oh, like you are from here. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like it's just, but that's just that mentality is so ridiculous that it's sad. It's really
Yeah.
sad to see
It
that
is.
shit happen, man. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's the like you said, about people not getting out and like working with people. Like those are the people that turn out to be the biggest pieces of shit,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. And I really think it's just about listening, you know, like people got to listen. Like I'm like, and it's I think right now what I've been trying to focus on is just equality in general, you know, what that looks like in my life, you know, just treating people equal across the spectrum. Cause I can't say that I've always done that, you know, it's not been something I've always put focus into or put energy into, like in a conscious level, you know, like most recently, like working, doing this, like the jobs and stuff at New Seasons I've been doing, I've noticed that I've been, around the trans community a lot more than I normally am. And it's been, and these people, or not, not these people, but the people that are in that community, have welcomed me into their community, I guess, you know. in a certain sense, you know, and just, and it's not I don't want to like separate them or something like that, but I've just noticed, you know, I've noticed how the interaction, you know, has been, you know, has changed with me, and you know, like I most recently I put on my Instagram profile the and this was something that I really struggled with. Like I've done some equity works. I work with youth a lot. And then the trainings that we have to do, it's equity work, you know, all the time. And just most recently last summer, everybody had to use their pronouns and stuff like that, and I was so against that. I was like, man, like the only reason why people are doing this like is because it's a white thing, you know, like white people are pushing this agenda, and that's why it's like, and I was like, y'all completely, if I was like, if that's the case, how come y'all ain't making people say their ethnicities or their race after they say their names or something like that? If that's the case, I should be like saying like Tristan, I'm an American, and I'm he, him, his, you know, if that's the case, or, you know, but it's I had to step back in this whole movement and kind of like reevaluate my stance on things, because if I'm only fighting for equity for people that look like me, then that's not equity, you know.
True.
That's not equality at all.
Yeah,
you know, if I'm
carrying on like the problematic behavior.
exactly,
Because if you just move from one club to another, then that's not like, then that's just another private club. That's the thing that we're all trying to push against.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important to have a safe or a brave, or like however you want to call it, a space that you can connect with people who, you know, I mean, how do I say it without it sounding weird? But like Togativity, for example, it's like an all female cannabis group, right? I understand the need and the value in a space where it's like only women, and there's like a comfort and a safety in that, right? I get that. I think there should also be like no call out. I think what they do is awesome, but I think that there should be like co-ed opportunities for allies to connect.
Yeah,
right.
sure.
So what's the point of like the exclusivity of being like, we weren't welcomed into this space, so we're going to make our own, but we're not going to set the example of all inclusiveness.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should be shutting people away.
And like, this is not a call out. So
no, let's start
respect, but also, but you know, the fundamental of that, of like inclusiveness and equality, is like not choosing to box out the people who, like, let's set a better example for the people who have been showing us how shitty that we can be. Like, let's show the positive side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's like enable people and do like, let's try opportunity based on merit and not like creating another club.
Well, I think that kind of goes back to what I said. Like, the people that are so tight within their bubble, they don't get to hear opinions and ideas from other people, and that does kind of create that segregation of we are this, and we don't want other people, and that's probably not
the elitism,
could
and
be a little toxic after a while.
Like supremacy aspects of that is like a slippery slope, and if you don't let, like you said, people who don't look like you be a part of your conversation, then you're getting a really skewed opinion, and that's dangerous no matter which way you go.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's take a minute, and so a fan wrote in.
Cool. Yeah. Can we break that?
Break that? Yeah. So Noto's Poetry, he's a street artist, and I believe he's in Germany. He wrote in, and he wanted us to talk about how artists are navigating through these emotional periods, and how they manage times of uncertainty and crisis in general. I mean, like, how do you get the creative spirit flowing when there's so much controversy going on around you? I'm sure that your artwork has changed in the past couple months, probably starting with COVID, and then George Floyd, and then just like the string of, especially in Portland, being one of the epicenters of like movement right now. I mean, how would you say that your artwork has changed, and how have you changed your daily process of creativity in general?
Yeah. Man, my process is I feel like because of man,
lockdown was probably weird.
Yeah, it definitely was. So So with all that, I think my process has been, well, it hasn't really too much changed, honestly, for me. Because like I said, I'm in AA, and I recently, like, I've only been painting for a year and a half, and so what, like, my whole thing has been like kind of being antisocial and staying in the house more, and trying to focus and build myself, so like when the whole COVID thing kind of happened, I was like already kind of used to being in the house, but it also made me for first like month, I guess, I was like, so that was like my stance. I was like super energized, like, like, this is nothing, like I can do this, like I'm used to this, like, like everybody else is flipping out, but not me, like I'm using this time, like, and if you don't use the time like I'm using this time, you ain't shit, That's what I was thinking at first, but I got burnt out doing all that. So then, I really feel like I got burnt out because I was missing human touch. Like I start to realize how much I wanted to just be around somebody, and how much my art, how much my feelings and my art depended upon like the emotions of people. Like I used to go out, even with stop drinking and stuff like that. I used to go out to the club, and I only realized this like when in quarantine. Like I used to go out to like clubs, and I would just go for like 2 hours and stuff like that, and just chill and like just be around people, just be around, see what the people was feeling, see what the people was doing, just see what music they listening to. Because a lot of times in my art as well too, I take from like a lot of pop culture, and a part of that's like lyrics and stuff. So I go out and see what people are listening to, and like what hypes them up and stuff like that. And if something really resonates with me, then I'll go back and I'll put that on a painting or something like that. I'll just write that somewhere. So a lot of my work really depends upon interacting with people. It's because like I'm an artist. As much as I and not just an artist, but a creative. And I want to feel like at the same time, like as much as I love to create, I love to feel like what I'm creating is good, so I need that interaction from people, I need to feel like I need the validation,
That too. But that was all stripped away from you.
Yeah, definitely, that was all stripped away. So that started playing with my head, like not being able to get that and stuff. That started playing with me. But then I ended up getting a tortoise. I ended up getting his name is Larry. Like, so that's how I kind of dealt with the.
Did not see that coming.
Oh yeah.
That's how I felt. That's how I dealt with the like being away from people, or like needing to feel or cared about, or to care for something, on a day-to-day basis, so I went out and I purchased Larry. He's a tortoise. He's a redfoot tortoise. He lives in my studio. He's super dope. I feed him like worms every other day and stuff. He's super dope. He eats like iceberg lettuce and like mustard greens and stuff like that.
That's great.
So that's kind of how I kind of that's how I dealt with it. I dealt with it by like wanting to seek out some other kind of, because I need that kind of affection,
Yeah.
Like I need to, like I'm not like, I'm human, dog. Like I'm like, we're all human. I need to feel loved and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think anybody being in isolation will go crazy. At a certain point. So at a certain point, I had to stop painting. And that's when I kind of had to go seek out some kind of affection, or some kind of something, because my work it started to become dark. It was still bright colors, but the subject matter was started to become dark. Like I started doing like stencils of homeless people and stuff like that. Like,
I mean, that could be interesting. I mean, Quincy, he was a dark artist.
yeah.
I mean, but he would kind of embrace that. Like he would feel himself like get into that zone, and then that's when he would make his best artwork. So I mean, that might not be a bad thing to experiment with.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
to see where it does go.
Where do you want your head to be at, though?
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
important.
Some people are comfortable with it. Some people aren't.
Yeah, that's real. Because a lot of times for me, like my work is because I'm self-taught, so a lot in how I got into painting was just using painting as therapy, using artist therapy. So I still do that. Like it's like a therapy session. So I'm usually running through a lot of like thoughts, or like sometimes I'm running through trauma and stuff like that. And with that being said, like I started to it, like kind of relive like a lot of trauma, like being like alone. Like I just felt kind of trapped, you know. But it did bring me back to that creative thing of like having to kind of like push and like just keep creating, you know, keep creating. But then, like I said, it got to that point where I just had to stop and step back, and like what I'm seeking is not like, I'm not getting it from painting, you know. Like this love that I'm searching for is like I love painting, don't get me wrong, you know, but at a certain point it was like I couldn't get I just couldn't get it from painting, you know.
Yeah.
I had to get it from something else, and that's that's when I had to go get Larry. But I know for a fact that was only due to being in quarantine and being isolated, you know, because I'm a human, dog. I just need to touch somebody. It's something about human touch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just like not even like just slap me or something. Like probably don't slap me, but I need to know that somebody else is alive and that I'm alive too. You know, like I need that. Like it's I can only Netflix and chill alone like to so much. You know,
The energy share is crucial.
for real.
Yeah.
A tortoise, though. I mean, I would have figured like a dog, but I mean, what led you to a tortoise? That's a specific animal.
Dude, tortoises are big energy, bro.
I mean,
Don't you know? I'm serious.
I've seen a couple. I've never really had one, so I'm missing out. But
yeah, tortoises are dope. It was it was something I told myself. So when I went to rehab, they were like, we had to like write out like 5-year plans and stuff like that. And I was just like thinking in my head, like, I always tried to think like outside of this. So I've never done anything creative, you know, but I've always tried to think creative, you know, or think outside the box, you know. So I had this 5-year plan when I was in rehab. They were like, just write 5 things down, or just write things down that you want to accomplish in these 5 years, you know. And one of them was for me was to get a tortoise. And everybody like laughed, like thought I was like joking, like, oh, this is a joke. You're not taking it serious. Like my counselor wanted me to go back and redo it. Like I'm not redoing it. Like this is a serious goal for me, dog. And I was like, it's so much more than that, you know. Like everybody else is sitting here writing about like they wanna have their own place, apartment, you know. They want to have their like a car and stuff like that, you know, like all that kind of stuff. Yes, I want to accomplish, but I want to go further than that, you know, like. So in doing so, if I have a tortoise, I'm automatically gonna have to have a place, you know. I can't be homeless with a tortoise, you know. So
yeah, that's not a leash
homeless-
pet. That's not a leash pet.
yeah, right.
I don't know if you know that about tortoises or not. Big energy, not a leash pet.
So it sounds like the tortoise, part of it is that human interaction, but more of it was like that's been a goal of yours for a while. Like you've been wanting this, so there's like a lot of satisfaction in being friends or roommates with the tortoise.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so that I guess I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's cool. He doesn't. I mean, he's chill. He doesn't do much. He's getting faster.
How fast?
He's not too fast, but he's surprisingly fast. I'll say that.
Really?
Yeah. So
like if you don't look at him for a second, he'll be like over there and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
How big is he?
They can run though.
They can run.
They can
They
run.
can get up and
really?
go.
Yeah. If I put like a worm out or something like that, and he makes like little barking noises too, which is crazy. Yeah,
Really?
It's kind of dope. Like,
Dude, not a mere turtle. Alex.
I'm sorry. I'm new to this. I'm new to the whole tortoise thing. I don't know much about him.
Yeah, he's dope. He's dope. Yeah, he's super dope, and not everybody that comes over to meet him is they like him and stuff too. So it's neat. I get a lot of love from Larry. It makes me feel good to be a father. You know, to have a seed. I feel like because I don't have kids right now. I feel like when I get older, if this continues, then I'll just probably like put him in my will. I want to try to get in contact with the Oregon Zoo to see maybe like once I get a certain age, if I can just like if I keep his like medical records, once I get a certain age, then I can just like pass them off to him and they'll keep them because he's gonna outlive me. You know.
I was gonna say, how old would a turtle or a tortoise like
he's
that?
He's gonna live. He's only 8. He's gonna live well into his hundreds.
Hundreds,
you know?
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, tortoises.
How big is he?
he's probably like this smaller than my palm. Well, no, he's probably the size of my palm actually.
And how big is he gonna get?
18 inches. And he's 8 years old, and that's still like a baby, basically, kind of, or a toddler. Like he's still like acts like a
little
toddler
guy.
and stuff like that.
Acts like a toddler.
Yeah.
Constant, dude. Constant maintenance. Dang, that's cool.
So, I mean, aside from the tortoise, aside from like shifting artwork with the events, how would you say you stay inspired normally outside of just human interaction?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you do? I know a lot of people like try to find new experiences.
Like something new.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
because everybody shifted hard, right? When the lockdown happened in mid-March, everyone freaked out.
Yeah.
Everyone, it was like, world is ending. Wait, shift.
Yeah.
Like, what was the shift?
Yeah. Man, I think just or how I even just stay excited about my art, you know, because I'm at a stage right now where I'm already like working on stuff that people haven't seen that doesn't look anything like what I'm currently doing, you know. 'Cause I'm already at a stage like I feel like right now the art that I'm doing is just like my 9 to 5, you know, like what I'm doing to stay alive. You know, but I want to keep pushing stuff further, you know. And that's just kind of how I stay inspired is that I just like I'm finding more things about art that I like, you know, like just because I'm new to art and stuff like that, like I'm finding like toys, like figures and stuff like that. Like I'm working on my own figure as well too. We're in phase 1 of that. It's about to be super dope. I probably shouldn't say too much about it, but it's about to be super dope. So yeah, I'm just finding like new things to like make me excited about art, you know. Like oh shit,
yank it back.
Yank it back. Oh, okay, there you go.
Alex is still finding new ways to get the microphones to stand up
the
straight.
microphone went very flaccid for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know what just. But to your point though, I think you're spot on. I don't understand why a lot of people during the lockdown didn't just use that as an opportunity to discover new crafts, to find out different techniques, and just like really explore stuff.
You can't expect for everybody to like deal with their trauma in the same way.
True. Yeah.
Like I'm just now realizing 4 months in how much that I've actually been like emotionally impacted, and I'm just like, I'm a survivor, so I'm going, it'll be fine. This is okay. I'm gonna make it. Push, and I'm pushing all of my other emotions down with it, and it's like it's coming to a head right now where I'm going, I didn't deal with like the crappy stuff, so now I have to deal with that. Like I have not processed the fact that like so much of what we know, even just in like the pre-COVID like normal like being around people world, has shifted. And it's wild. Like I'm still trying to process it. It's like being like traumatized and shocked. Like that wears off, and then you're like, okay, I'm in pain. Yeah. Like the shock is worn off.
So what do you think is the better route? Because if you're saying that pushing it away and like just trying to be like, it'll be all right.
I think you just have to be real to you. It's like you were saying about your art. Like you just have to be real to you. You're never behind anybody else. You're exactly in the place that you're supposed to be, like at all times. I look at people and I'm like, we're the same age. They have this way bigger company. My journey is not their journey. Like, and you can't beat yourself up that you weren't like as productive as some other artist who like someone who's naturally prolific is just naturally prolific. You can't force yourself into creativity. So you have to not beat yourself up about it and like go with your own flow and do what feels right for you and like your mind. And I just think that like we have way too much pressure on like, well, why didn't you take advantage of that time? Like I thought that all of my shit was going to fall apart. So I was like, cool. Like I'm doing like event marketing, so I'll shift it to digital marketing on top of all of like the creative and like the merchandising and all that shit. But how do I close the gap with events? And like I shifted hard, but like I'll scrap till the day is done. And it's just like I can't expect that from anybody else. Period.
It's really hard to find people that match energy levels. And that's super important in my opinion, because if you have someone like, they might be talented, but if they're a little less frequency than you, it frustrates you. And like it frustrates me. It's like I feel like I don't know, I work a lot.
So I hear you. No, I definitely hear you. Yeah, and I think and what you said, I think the main thing too is it's important to factor in is mental health. You know, like I don't think that gets enough acknowledgement. You know, and I don't want to say like I'll just like as soon as like quarantine hit that I was just jumping out of the gates like I'm trying everything new. You know, because also there is that thing like there is that or that time frame there or that space where I was in, like I don't know what's for certain right now, or nobody knew what's for certain. We still don't kind of know what's like happening, you know.
It's just starting.
You know,
it's
yeah,
still just
real,
starting. We're like settling into what's gonna be.
Yeah, and then with that, especially trying to be a full-time artist, like that was a scary moment because nobody's trying to buy art in a pandemic, you know.
Oh, for real.
Nobody is trying to decorate their houses. They're trying to like buy toilet paper and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
That's what people's focus is on. Their focus is on whatever money that they have is being saved, or they're trying to make it go further, whatever money they have, you know. Like the stock market is crashing, you know.
Priority
like,
shifts heavy when you get down to the brass tacks.
It's like it was definitely a scary moment, you know, like and I definitely did, and I don't think anybody should be like should think that it's bad to play it safe, or not necessarily to play it safe, but to keep doing what you've been doing, because maybe that just looks like perfecting what you've been doing, you know, or because that's another thing too. You don't have to try anything new, you know. If you already have something that's working, that's just perfect it, you know. I feel like there's always ways, or I'm always looking for ways to make my lines finer or something like that, or to make the colors pop more or something like that, you know. So I'm not. It may like I can paint the same image 100 times, you know, and you may not see any difference, you know. But to me, I can see little differences, or where there's brush strokes and where there's not brush strokes, you know. So there's certain ways to go about different things, you know. And definitely like it's definitely I definitely don't think comparing somebody else's process to another person's is beneficial to anybody's like
oh dude, yeah,
anybody's thing, you know.
There's a difference between
helps.
like finding inspiration and having like unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just like the whole idea of comparing yourself to other people. It's like that's never gonna make you happy.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Because like
well, as much
said,
as it can be a motivator, it can also be like this really unhealthy thing that you do to yourself.
it's a toxic mentality to be like, oh, they got that, why can't I have that? And then it also goes to like that. I mean, this isn't really in the art world, but it's something that bothers me. Like people who are in that kind of alpha culture where everyone's trying to like alpha each other.
And then, like you said, though, that doesn't equate to happiness.
Never does.
Yeah.
That doesn't equate to happiness. That does, like, that person making more money, that person with like that much more square footage, like the follower count, like the highlight reel that is just the shit that's not real, and you don't see the hours behind it. Like, you have to find the happiness, like your balance. And like, that's the most important thing. Fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you happy? And then like, yes, how does it affect other people? 100%. But like, that balance is crucial. Balance is crucial. And I'm still learning that about myself too. Like,
it's a tricky
like I've
thing.
discovered that I really need a 1 day off a week, or else I'm going to be miserable.
Yeah. I try to, when I disconnect, I try to really disconnect. Like I'll like go camping, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
dude, just like even just today, it's like, you know, I disconnected until 6 p.m.
And
then
That's crazy.
So yeah, what do you have coming up next? What's your next thing you want to tackle?
Next, what I have coming up, so I'm trying to, I want more people to have like to have my work. So I've been trying to figure out what that looks like, and for me that looks like prints. So I've been trying to work on releasing prints, and yeah, I mean, I think that's what I've been. That's and I also have most coming up. I don't know if I can talk about this, but coming up, I really don't know. Let me see. Coming up.
You're signing non-disclosures on your own work now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't really talk about what's next.
I have a greeting card that'll be coming out at new seasons.
Oh wow,
That's
And it's not through it's through somebody. Let me figure out who they are so I can shout them out maybe.
just do it, because if you find out that you can't shout them out, I can take this out.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Let me see.
That's dope though. New
Yeah.
season's card, man.
Okay, it's
I know a little bit about the card industry only because I know someone who used to do greeting cards. And she was saying that the way that it works is if the card does well, then they just keep circulating it.
yeah.
But that's like, it's a pretty small percentage.
Yeah, and it's not. I'm not. I'm not really. I mean, I'm glad that we do, or I am getting some money from it. But it's just, I just at this point, I really just I want to get my art out to the masses. So my whole so it's I don't know who they're called, but it's it's Press for Change. So it's Press for Change.
oh yeah, all right.
They're doing something they're having a couple different artists. I wish I had the other artist's name because I shot them out too, but we all have the opportunity to have our art on greeting cards, and they'll be coming out. One of them is that they just got to sign a contract for new seasons. Urban Outfitters is another one. I don't know if that's official. If you can probably cut that out if it's not. But that's what I have coming out most recently. So I'm probably trying to, because I don't want to like flood the market. Like I don't want to like have just like a bunch of stuff that people can buy. You know, I want to make it purposeful. You know, so that'll be probably maybe the first thing I have coming out. But if not, I have some. Oh no, I have some shirts, some Nipsey Hussle shirts also that'll be coming out too. It'll be pretty dope. I'll make sure y'all get one too.
Oh yeah, dope, man.
I'll drop some off for y'all. Those are gonna be pretty dope. They're an edition of 100, and I'm gonna probably make like an artist proof version, maybe like 20 of them. So I'll just like paint something special on them. Yeah, and it's gonna be super dope. It'll be the first time that my portraits are on something that people can wear. You know.
Yeah, that's
I'm
so
super
rad.
excited about that.
Accessibility is big, and
Yeah.
you know, there's like a weird kind of like older view of like fine artists shouldn't, like gallery artists shouldn't merchandise themselves, and like merchandising artists don't belong in
Yeah.
galleries, but it's just not the same thing. It's not the same anymore.
Yeah,
And that's where I'm from, is like, how can we get art into as many people's hands as possible for like the lowest entry level
Yeah.
possible?
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, period.
That's
Like,
yeah.
straight up.
And my gallery my gallery owner was kind of pissed off about that that I'm doing prints. He was like, it's gonna make the value of the painting go down. I was like, all right, whatever, Herschel, I'm not tripping. But the way I'm looking at it is like I'm not in it for like they take half my money anyway from the gallery.
Yeah,
you know?
art for the highest bid. It's a different demographic. It's a different demographic.
for real.
A $20 to $150 print is a totally
Yeah.
different demographic from the people who are looking for $18,000 to $4,000
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I feel
paintings.
like
It's not, dude. You're not messing with his market,
Yeah.
and
for
you have the
real.
right as an independent artist to earn your money.
Yeah, that's real.
I think it's
real.
good to be able to at least give the opportunity to people who don't have that much money to at least still appreciate your
Man,
artwork, and I
yeah.
think that's huge.
I've worked with artists that I'm like, we should make your stuff more expensive, and like forgetting that side where I'm like, we're selling so much stuff, you could maybe like do a little bit better, and they're like, hey, don't forget why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be a $20 print, dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It like, and we have prints that are like $10. We have prints that are like $150, and it depends on what they want. But like, you
Mhm.
have to make it accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real. So, yeah, I'm super stoked about that. Maybe I'll give one an extra one to you if you have a viewer or somebody that.
Oh,
listener.
Let's do a
shit.
giveaway.
We could
You-
totally do a
giveaway.
giveaway on
Let's
that,
do a
man.
giveaway.
I
before
like
release
that.
them. I'll drop one off, or we'll figure that out before I release it.
Love that. Any
Giveaway.
any other? We've almost been talking for a full hour, so I mean,
Oh, word.
any other message you want to give out to the world right now? I
Where can
mean,
people find you?
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me mainly from my Instagram. I try to direct all business to my Instagram, at TK503RD. Yeah, that's me. Shoot me a follow or whatever. I'm pretty friendly. I'm not like whatever, you know. Say something, I'll say something back. You know, follow, I'll follow back. Like I'm chill. Just like I don't whatever. I'm a cool dude. You know. I don't know. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to kick it, you know. My face is not really on my, and I did take that from street artists too. I try not to show my face on my Instagram and stuff too. So I do like the anonymity part about it, you know.
You're screwing that up right now.
Yeah, right. For real.
Hey, I
But
mean,
but
mask
it's
up,
like,
mask up though, you know.
yeah, for real. But like, it's not like my you can I'm totally Googleable. Like you can, not to be cocky or anything like that, but you can definitely Google and find my face. But so I was gonna say holler if you see me in the streets, but please don't.
But please don't, though. But don't.
Cool, man. We appreciate you coming on here. You're super cool guys. So if you're listening, check him out. TK503RD on Instagram.
Put some links up.
Yeah, he's gonna have some prints out soon too, which sound really cool. So check that out also.
Yep.
That being said, thanks again for coming on,
thanks
man.
for being here.
Thanks for having
Appreciate
me.
you.
It's been dope.
Thank you for listening to the Black Bull Podcast. Do us a big favor, and if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes, give us a rating and maybe even a comment. And as always, tell your friends. Bye.